Absolutely. I'm the Academic Liaison Librarian for Culture and Social Sciences. I've got Sarah Beck with me this afternoon, who's the Principal Lecturer in Applied Studies, Social Work and Community and Youth Work Studies. Thanks for coming in and talking to us about reading at university and beyond. Now, for the first question, I'd like to ask you, what is the importance of reading in social work and community and youth work studies?
It's really important. I think that's why I was happy to agree to be interviewed, because I think it's one of the most important things for the students on our programmes. We want our students to develop different perspectives or understand different perspectives on the world, really, and on their work. They're all going into fields of professional practice, working with people, either in social work or community and youth work. And it's really important that they don't just take things at face value, that they develop an ability to see things from different angles, from different perspectives, and reading can really, really help with that. Probably one of the most common comments that we write in terms of assignment feedback is read more widely.
Really?
And I think that's something that whatever level students are working at, reading more widely will help them move up to the next level. So you can really see that come across in the way students write, that whether they've read or not. So we want our students to develop into research-minded practitioners, so people who are able to use reading and research in their practice, and also that they're able to evidence an argument, because that's a skill that they'll need not just in writing academically in their assignments and so on, but they'll also need it in professional practice. If they're making decisions about people's lives, they need to be able to evidence that. So that ability to evidence an argument is really enhanced by reading.
Excellent, yeah. So what are the different ways that you read as a professional and lecturer?
I suppose I'd think of it more about the different sources that I would use to read. So I think in social work practice, certainly, which is my background, you need to be able to read a very wide range of different sources. So you might have to read case recording, reports, assessments, sort of professional writing in a professional context. You also need to be able to read everything from newspapers and sort of journalism right through to policy documents, legislation, case law, academic literature, textbooks and research. So it's the whole range, really. So the wider the range of reading you can do, the better it'll be.
The more you build your confidence.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what would you say the role of reading is in higher education study?
I think a big part of the importance of reading is that in higher education we want to encourage people to be independent learners. So in our talk sessions, lectures and seminars and workshops, we often only really have time for the tip of the iceberg in terms of the subject. So we might give students the headlines, and then really it's up to them to go away and develop their understanding of the subject. And the way that they should do that is through reading. So the more that they can find out independently and read independently, the deeper their understanding will be of the subject matter. So I think that's the key thing, really.
Right. And where does the reader list really come into that?
Well, it's really important, and again, it's a stepping stone, I suppose. So the reading list would be the starting point to look for what the relevant reading is for that particular module, and we would always try to highlight what's the essential reading within that list and what's additional or recommended. But also it's really important that students have the confidence to veer off the reading list and find things themselves, using Discover, for example, to find articles and other academic literature. Don't be afraid to explore, I think I would say, really. So the reading list is the starting point, but anything more they can do is helpful as well. Because more and more there's an expectation that practitioners are research informed, and they need to be able to engage with a really wide range of professional literature.
So that becomes part of the continuing professional development?
Absolutely, yeah. And then very often once people have qualified, they'll come back to university or go on other courses elsewhere to develop their knowledge and understanding of a specialist area of practice. Right. So it might be that they need to read a very specialised type of literature with particular vocabulary, and so it depends on what their role is, I suppose, in terms of what they might need to read.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you look for in terms of what the students read when you mark a piece of coursework?
I think for me one of the most important things is to see a wide range of literature, and it's not just about the numbers of books or articles that students read, but it's the choice of those articles and books, and seeing that they're up to date, that they're relevant to the subject that's being written about. And I think one of the things that I notice is, or one of the things I would recommend is that students read before they write, because we can often spot if a student has written an assignment, made a point, and then stuck a reference at the end of the paragraph. Whereas actually, if you do it the other way around, do some reading first, and that helps you to develop your argument, you'll end up writing a much better assignment. So that'll be a tip from me, is read before you write.
Yeah, that's really useful.
So the more that you can read, and the more of a range of sources that you can read, the more it'll help you to develop your own academic writing style, because you're reading that style and it helps you kind of incorporate it into your own writing.
Yeah.